What happens when the owner of a small business goes undercover to expose employees who are secretly stealing from the company? Let's dive in and see. In the heart of Chicago, there was a man named Harold. He wasn't famous or wealthy, but he had built something special with his own hands, a modest printing shop called Harold's Press. For over 20 years, Harold worked tirelessly to grow this business into a place where people trusted him for quality work at fair prices. His employees were like family to him, and he treated them accordingly. But lately, things weren't adding up. The cash register didn't match the sales reports. Supplies kept disappearing without explanation. Orders that should have been profitable somehow ended up costing more than they made. Harold couldn't ignore it anymore. It broke his heart to think someone he trusted might be taking advantage of his kindness, but deep down, he knew something was wrong. One evening, after locking the doors of Harold's Press, Harold sat alone in his office. The dim light from his desk lamp cast long shadows across the room. He sighed heavily, looking at the stack of bills on his desk. "How can I save what I've worked so hard for if I don't even know who's hurting me?" he muttered under his breath. That night, Harold made a decision. He would go undercover to uncover the truth. He came up with a plan. Wearing old clothes and pretending to be just another worker, Harold applied for a job at his own business under the name Henry. No one suspected anything because Henry looked different. Beard stubble, slightly disheveled hair, and a quieter demeanor. Everyone welcomed him warmly, including two key figures: Marcus, the head supervisor, and Leo, the delivery driver. At first, everything seemed normal. Henry blended right in, learning the ropes again as though starting fresh. But soon, little details began catching his attention. One afternoon, while helping Marcus count inventory, Henry noticed some extra boxes marked personal use tucked away behind stacks of paper. Curious, he asked Marcus about them casually. "Oh, those? Just supplies we take home sometimes," Marcus replied with a shrug. "You know how it is, we do so much for the boss. It's only fair." Henry nodded slowly, trying not to let his emotions show. Later that week, during lunch break, he followed Leo outside. To his surprise, Leo loaded several reams of high-quality paper into his car trunk before heading off for deliveries. When questioned later by Henry, Leo smirked and said, "Don't worry about it, new guy. This is part of the deal. Everyone does it here." Henry felt sick to his stomach. These men weren't just stealing, they thought it was acceptable. They justified their actions as repayment for their hard work, completely ignoring the fact that Harold already paid them fairly and provided benefits. As days turned into weeks, Henry gathered evidence quietly, documenting every instance of theft. But then came the first twist. One rainy Friday evening, Henry stumbled upon an unexpected discovery. While reviewing security footage late at night, he noticed Marcus meeting someone unfamiliar near the loading dock. The stranger handed Marcus an envelope filled with cash. Confused, Henry rewound the video multiple times until it hit him. Marcus wasn't just stealing supplies, he was selling them to competitors. This revelation shook Henry to his core. Marcus, the man Harold had promoted and trusted most, was betraying him on a much larger scale. The betrayal cut deeper than any stolen goods ever could. Henry sat back in his chair, staring at the screen. "Why does trust always come with such a price?" he whispered softly. Determined to confront the situation head-on, Henry decided to reveal himself. On Monday morning, all employees gathered in the conference room. Standing before them, now dressed in his usual attire as Harold, he addressed the group calmly yet firmly. "I want to thank each of you for your dedication to Harold's Press. However, I also need to address issues that have been eating away at our foundation." The room fell silent. Marcus shifted uncomfortably in his seat, avoiding eye contact. Leo glanced around nervously. Harold continued, "Over the past few weeks, I've discovered patterns of dishonesty within our team. Supplies being taken, orders tampered with, and worse, business deals conducted behind my back." His voice cracked slightly, revealing the pain beneath his words. Betrayal isn't easy to face, especially when it comes from those closest to you. Then came the second twist. Before anyone could respond, Leo stood up abruptly. "Wait, there's more you don't know," he exclaimed, surprising everyone. With trembling hands, he confessed, It wasn't just Marcus and me. We were pressured into doing it. If we refused, they threatened to fire us, and worse. Tears streamed down his face as he admitted, "We did it out of fear, not greed." Harold listened intently, absorbing the weight of Leo's confession. Though anger bubbled inside him, he chose compassion instead. "Fear doesn't excuse theft," he said gently, "but it explains why good people make bad choices." In that moment, Harold realized the problem ran deeper than individual actions. It stemmed from a toxic environment created by Marcus's manipulation. Afterward, Harold fired Marcus immediately and reported his illegal activities to authorities. As for Leo and others involved, Harold offered them a chance to redeem themselves through transparency and accountability. Together, they implemented stricter policies and fostered open communication to prevent future incidents. Months later, Harold stood in his office once again, reflecting on the journey. Though scars remained, he found strength and resilience. "Life tests us in ways we never expect," he often told himself, "but it's how we respond that defines us." And so Harold's Press thrived, not just as a business, but as a symbol of integrity, forgiveness, and hope. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.